everyone, my name is Nuradlina. I'm from class L63 and from EGP Block 2. In this video, I would like to review a book that I've been reading a few months ago called I Am Malala. I Am Malala is an inspiring story of a teenage Pakistani girl born in Mingora, a remote valley in northern Pakistan. When Malala was 10 years old, the Taliban, an Islamic fundamentalist group seeking to implement a brutal version of Sharia law in the region, came to Swat Valley. It was led by a man named Fazlullah, who at first appealed to many people because of his charisma and rationality. The Taliban began to implement many strict rules. CDs, DVDs, and TVs were not allowed in the home, women must remain in purdah, and girls could not be educated. For Malala, this last rule was unacceptable. She and her father began to speak out strongly and publicly against Talibanization. Malala even began to write a diary about life as a girl under the Taliban, using a pseudonym so it could not be traced to her. The Pakistani army said that they had struck a deal with the Taliban to institute Sharia law in Swat in return for peace. But unfortunately, this peace did not last. The situation got so bad that scores of people left Swat Valley, fleeing the Taliban. Malala's family tried to stay for as long as they could, but eventually they left as well. They became IDPs, internally displaced persons, living outside of Swat for 3 months before they were able to return when the army announced that the Taliban had allegedly been driven out of the valley. Once Malala returned to Swat, Malala began to gain more national and international fame for being an advocate for girls' education. Similarly, her father continued to speak out loudly. Pakistan was shaken up when the United States Navy SEALs conducted a raid on a compound in Abu Dhabi where Osama bin Laden, the world's most wanted terrorist, had apparently been hiding out for years. Meanwhile, signs showed that the Taliban had never really left Swat Valley, and Malala's father continued to fear that he would be targeted. Then one day, when Malala was on the bus home from school, a strange man pulled the bus over, asked for Malala by name, and suddenly shot her in the face. Malala was taken to an army hospital in Peshawar and given an operation that gave her brain space to swallow where the bullet hit it. Everyone prayed that she would survive, but they were unsure. A pair of British doctors came from Rawalpindi to assess her and determined that she had to be moved if she was to survive. First, they moved her to a high-security army hospital in Rawalpindi, but then she was moved abroad to Birmingham, UK, where she was treated more extensively. Her family followed her. 10 days later, they did not return to Pakistan, instead settling in an apartment and then a house in Birmingham. In the aftermath of her shooting, Malala became an international sensation using her newfound fame to speak out a larger stage for girls' education. Malala's story is both heartbreaking and inspiring, but as a fellow Muslim, I am indeed intrigued and amazed by the courage of this young girl who is brave enough to speak about what is wrong with her country and strive for education to be available for all. And what I find really unfair about what the Taliban are doing is that they blame religion for their actions and give it a big name, when really it has nothing to do with that. Overall, this book is very easy to read and Malala uses much humor in her book. My favorite quote from her book is, "When the world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful." Her story is 100% worth the read. Even if you don't want to read the book, you can watch her speeches on YouTube, and I bet you won't be able to stop yourself from admiring her compassionate and courageous heart.
I want there to be peace everywhere, but my brothers and I are still working on that.